1 to 3 testing. 1 to 3 testing. Testing. I can do that.
oppressive aura, my tusk. We'll show her an oppressive aura.
Hey man, it's been a while. Hey, what's up? I know. I think I was playing Doom last time. How's it going? Pretty good, and you? Trying to check ESO. Like every year I try to get back into ESO. I just kind of feel it, then I don't feel it, then I do feel it. I think it's pretty good now. I'm liking it so far.
Oppressive aura, my tusk. Show her.
Have you ever played the Doom games? I used to play Doom a long time ago, when it was like one of the first PC games. Not really after that. I haven't played any of the latter one that came about. Oh my god, what are these things? Come on, I should be able to jump this. And one thing that I do miss about Dune is you can really climb anywhere, however you want. This is so dumb. I got into those recently. Nice. Yeah, I kind of saw the last one, and there was a huge marketing thing going on about that one. And I remember he had a gun in one hand and a shield on another one, which kind of, because every single game nowadays has to have like a medieval component to it. So it's like an MMO medieval sort of deal with the Asian MMOs and whatnot. So even Doom got a shield into his guy randomly for some reason. He kind of looked like a knight who is also like a gunslinger of sorts. I find that really interesting. Typically 2016 and Eternal. Nice. Yeah, I saw that. I think Eternal was that last one that came about. It looked pretty good, to be honest, but I'm not really into those games. Maybe going here. Is it this? The Bosca Shrine. Yeah, it's right here. Shrine. Nice. I'm really digging this whole Aztec ruins all over this little like lost island. It looks like an actual, like an Aztec sort of ancient Native American place. It's kind of nice to see some people actually questing on the wild. I might actually be one of those NPC companions. Never mind. Sobergonian Tima has a bold called Sacred to Cities. I saw that yesterday. There's something about cities going on here. Dark Age is the latest one. I want to play it, but it's a little pricey, so I'm waiting for a sale. Oh yeah, for sure. But I have so many games on the backlog. You can just wait. I've gotten games for like $5 that I have never played, and I just buy them.
Five Claw, over here. Raz poked around several old Argonian ruins before returning to Sunport empty-handed. He never thought to visit an ancient ball court until Gabrielle showed up and sent him here. With great urgency, one might add. Imagine his surprise. If you consider High Necromancer Wormblood to be unusual, then yes. He arrived just before you, and he brought friends. They entered the old ball court just ahead. Raz wondered if they came to play a game, but no one invited him to join in.
Can't think of some games I'd like to play with you, Raz. I don't know why they do this. Like, I think it's because of those games like, oh my god, that game that totally flunked, the one with the woman dragon guy who's talking about all of these political things, and now you should be able to romance everyone in a video game. It's like, no, keep those things outside of Elder Scrolls, please. And thank you. We just have to buy themselves.
But it would be so rude to show up without an invitation, Five Claw. Think of all the worm cultists we would have to apologize to with our blades. What exactly is Wormblood looking for again?
Thought about getting into Nier, but I need to look into it. Nier? Or Nier? How do you even pronounce that? I'm not sure, but it kind of sounds familiar. I don't know. I'm not really sure about that game. Probably called The Gift of Death. Vanskalarian told us it's hidden here.
If Wormblood is here, Vanus must have a knowledgeable source indeed. This one heard Wormblood tell his minions to seek the Ball Court's ritual altar to the north. Time for Five Claw and the Queen's Eye to save the day, yes?
Okay. Not familiar. No, Nier sounds familiar. Nier, I don't know. No, really. I think this is an actual material. I forgot to Google this. I was gonna Google it. I think this is like a metal of sorts, and it's all over these state of Argonian ruins. I find it really cool. New keybinds. I'm trying to absolutely love the environments of the Elder Scrolls Online. I really feel like I don't know why this expansion. I had zero expectations for this expansion because usually Elder Scrolls Online lore it always lets me down. But this one, which is randomly just called Season of Something, and they wanted to make it shorter because I don't know they're having internal issues. I'm really enjoying it for some reason. I don't know why. Trying to figure out why. It's kind of obscure, but it's well praised. Interesting. Is it like a lore RPG sort of deal? Is it like an MMO? It sounds like an Asian MMO. Near Automata, something of that nature.
Look at the seating tiers, the carvings. Raz had no idea Tiba Hatse was so important.
Tiba Hatsa. Oh yeah, so it's actually really interesting because this is supposed to be called Tiba Hatsa or something like that. And this is where they have the quote-unquote gift of death, which I think it's a staff, which is very suiting with the... like in Elder Scrolls Arena, you are looking for the Staff of Chaos. So they are connecting the ancient, like Native American, Aztec, or Mayan cults of death with cities. This whole idea of necromancy. Very interesting, very creative, to be honest. Okay. Start one-shotting people. Okay. Oh, come on, will you please go on the same place so I can just one-shot you all? You come here so I can AoE. Thank you. If I had say ritual altar.
Aha! Look, Five Claw. Wormblood is here. This is our chance.
More fellowship, fools.
This like new money marker guy, Warmblood, he's the actual guy, it seems. He's just gonna attack me. Doesn't look like money marker. Something's taking a damage, so I have to do something here.
To me, faithful of the Black Worm, destroy
Oh.
interlopers.
Kind of thing. This should, like, if they did it just a little bit harder, this would actually be interesting because they actually have little mechanics and stuff. Like there's things on the ground that you have to avoid, and they do different things. If it was just a little bit harder, it would be pretty interesting. Otherwise, you shouldn't have like mechanics at all. They should just like one-shot everything. It's kind of scary. Where's to mark them? Yeah, it's ESO. It's very easy. I wish it was a little bit harder because I did see that they are trying to make them a little bit harder and a little bit more creative. All these little encounters, and it has good graphics and everything. Okay, like for this, I should be one-shotted if I don't get this right. It just barely does any damage actually. I might have to weave in light attacks or something like that. I'm not a real fan of ESO's combat. Let's go, bro. I'm going to leave soon, but I gotta go checking in, and I'll catch you later. Have a good night. Yeah, thank you for dropping by, bro. Have a good night, man. No worries whatsoever.
Power from these flimsy vessels.
Take cover, Five.
That actually hurt. Interesting.
Another dead bird. You begin to bore us, Worm Killer.
Quiet, you mangy cat. My horde and my
I would say big stakes
tear
in.
you limb from limb. Fools, death cannot stop me.
Come on. I don't want any other break. No! Or to just finish him. Yes.
Take the relic, Five Claw, and let us be on our way. Raz does not like the feel of this place.
That. A really composed of baked crystals suspended in an iron frame. Oh, I thought it was the staff. Interesting.
Dark runes is coming back to life. It is foolish to fight a foe who cannot die. Destroy the columns. Bring down the shrine. Raz will pin Wormblood to the floor.
How do I destroy them? Yo, how do I destroy them?
Five Claw, get the gift of death back to Sunport. Raz will be fine.
What's he doing there? We have to get out. Is he gonna die there? I'm breaking the whole cinematic. Oh, wrong door, bro. I'll see you later.
And may Azura's love protect us in these times.
Gabrielle recounted what you learned from Vaunus Galarian. Dire tidings indeed. Was he right about the sacred Tiba Hatse court? Was Wormblood there? Did you find the gift of death? Excellent news, I think. We still don't know exactly why the Worm Cult needs the gift of death to restore Mannimarco, if that is indeed their intention, but at least the Worm Cult doesn't have it. What happened with Wormblood? Immediate resurrection? What kind of power is he able to call upon? Only legendary necromancers or a few fated heroes can do that. If Wormblood can't die, how did you and Razumdar defeat him? You did well to keep the gift of death from Wormblood. Better yet, you found a way to speak with Vonus Galarian. Knowledge is a mighty weapon in this war of secrets. Now we know what awaits us behind the writhing wall. I thank you, comrade.
Raz is here.
The Fellowship faces difficult decisions. Let us talk, comrade. While you were searching Vosga Shrine, Gabrielle told me of your communication with Vonus Galarian. Soul Reapers feeding the writhing wall? A new plane meld? The situation on Solstice is worse than I thought. But I might have an idea. Thanks to you, we now have something Wormblood wants, the gift of death. As long as we hold it, his plans remain unfulfilled. Returning Manamarco to life, expanding the writhing wall, whatever he needs it for. That gives us a degree of influence. Wormblood needs the gift, and we have it. We can use that to lead him to a spot of our choosing. This provides us one advantage. An advantage I believe we must seize with all due haste. Will you help me turn the gift of death against the Worm Cult? We have the relic Wormblood seeks. What do we do with it?
He has Manamarco's body. We cannot allow Wormblood to bring him back.
We have something else, too. Raz snatched this key from Wormblood during our struggle.
A key. Let me see that. Aha!
Man, would you mind?
Why am I not surprised Raz went through Wormblood's pockets? I recognize the crest on this key. I noticed it on a crypt by a ruined estate. Coralania Manor, if I'm not mistaken. I passed by the place when I first arrived on Solstice. Not at the time. It's a rather impressive mausoleum of ancient High Elf architecture, centuries old. I imagine some of Regent Corinway's ancestors are laid to rest there. I think you'd better look into it. I don't know, but I think we need to find out. Here, take the key and investigate Coralania Crypt. Find out why Wormblood was interested in the place. In the meantime, I'll study the Gift of Death and see what I can learn about it. Coralania Crypt lies south of Sunport. Take someone along to help you. Scordo should do. And be careful, friend. The ancient Coralanias were necromancers too. The worm cult might not be the only danger in that tomb. Necromancers are always interested in the dead, friend. But Wormblood's orders to Farinor mentioned that he was looking for the Gift of Death's location. My guess is that he went to Coralania Crypt in search of information. Possibly, but the place could still be dangerous. You might run into spirits disturbed by worm cult activity. Some necromancers take care not to anger the dead with their rituals. Not the worm cult.
I'll meet you at the crypt, pal. We'll find whatever it is we're supposed to find there.
Meridia, O radiant one, she guides us to the proper path and saves us from the world's dark wrath.
impressive aura, my tusk. We'll show her an oppressive aura.
Hey, pal. I haven't gone in yet, but it looks like someone's been here. I hate crypts. Why is it I always have to go into one for some tusking reason or another? Smashing skulls, screaming back at wraiths. Can't stand it. The dead ought to stay dead. Some faint boot prints on the steps of the mausoleum. Scuff marks, too. That door's been opened recently. Of course, I guess we knew that already since Wormblood had the key in his pocket. Your guess is as good as mine. But even if they aren't, they might have riled up the dead in this place. When you've been in as many crypts and tombs as I have, you get a feel for that sort of thing. Well, come on, let's get this over with.
Abandoned legendary points. Very interesting. What is this guy doing? He's gonna ruin everything for a simple skeever.
Look at this place. Elves sure build fancy tombs.
It is a pretty fancy tomb. An actual body right over there. Everything is broken down somehow. Very interesting. King rulers. Colonel Lanja, king ladies, and king lords who ruled over this realm of Solstice are home in exile. Interesting.
Downstairs, pal. Think we found something. And it don't look good.
Be gone! I have nothing more to say to you, necromancer.
Someone in that tomb's been talking to Wormblood. Disable that barrier and we might learn something. Careful there. They weren't fooling around.
I am here, curse you! What else do you... Wait... You are not Wormblood. Who are you?
But this
Is
old
this some
spirit
new
can tell us
ruse?
Wormblood.
A trick to win my confidence after Wormblood drew my soul from the afterlife and compelled me to speak? I will tell you no more than I told your master. Unless... wait... You are no follower of the Black Worm.
He's blown his soul from the afterlife. Trying to stop Wormblood just said he compelled you to speak.
Yes. He bound me with this crystal and tormented me, questioning me about the location of a relic from ancient times. Glorious times. The gift of death. Stolen long ago, yet I found it. Alas, Wormblood wrested the secret from me. The gift of death can recall to life any departed soul, at the cost of a willing sacrifice. A life for a life. Whom Wormblood would bring back or sacrifice, I do not know. But the gift is also the key to great power. There is a secret place in Eastern Solstice. Wormblood found it and draws upon its power. That is why his necromancy is so strong. Yet with the gift of death, he could unlock its full might. Now, I must ask a favor of you. You make a good point. Very well. It is called Mor Naril, an ancient temple Molag Bal's servants built to harvest souls departing the mortal plane. The forces of light defeated Mor Naril and silenced its heart, but the gift could wake it.
Forces of light? I was just talking about how there is light in the Elder Scrolls lore. Mordoriel, an ancient temple Molag Bal's servants built to harvest souls departing the mortal planes. Okay, that's pretty dream. Kinda cool, kinda metal. The force of light defeated Mordoriel and silenced its heart. The gift could wake it. Interesting.
Wormblood left a focus in this chamber, the ghost weld crystal before you. It pins me in this plane, and allowed him to project himself here when he wished to question me. Take it with you when you go, and I will be free. The gift is ancient beyond reckoning. When my ancestors ruled in Hammerfell, their explorers found it hidden in Solstice's Daedric ruins. It became an heirloom of House Coralania, a mighty relic that could bestow a life for a life. Someone willing. My ancestors found that threats or compulsion did
Someone
not work.
willing to die.
There was
Very
a cost.
interesting, very cool.
The soul sacrificed with the gift was simply gone. Trapped in the relic, banished to some grey void, or destroyed entirely. No one could say.
You took that calm to the Bosca Shrine.
When my people turned on their kinlord, they hid the gift. They could not trust themselves to leave it buried, so they asked the Argonian death dancers to hide it. I only learned where after decades of searching. I died before I could retrieve it.
Death dancers? That sounds really cool as well. Well, like an ancient Argonian slash Aztec sort of tribute to that. In life.
My time was long ago. I was cousin to both the last kinlord of House Coralania and the upstart who deposed him. Kinlord Istamil revived the ways of our ancestors in Hammerfell to maintain power. But Vinyu Tilmo feared our own heritage. Our people had all but forgotten our gift for necromancy. Istamil reforged the ancient pacts with our Daedric patrons and revived the practice. Yet some of our own kin resisted the Kinlord's commands. All Solstice was divided. I served as advisor to the Kinlord, but Vinyu Tilmo was victorious. After Istamil's fall, our people turned from the old ways. I was forced into hiding and spent the rest of my days seeking a way to reverse our loss. Such as the gift of death.
Interesting. Crystal.
Peace once again.
Gabrielle's going to want to see that crystal. She's probably holed up in the Regent's study with the gift of death.
Cool.
am a Dreg, a hard-shelled stormcaller.
And I am an Ornor, a sea-riding shellcracker.
There you are. Scordo told me a little about the crypt. Let's compare notes. I examined the Gift of Death, and I must say I've never seen anything quite like it. It's Daedric in origin, that much is clear. Now, what exactly did you learn in the crypt? I suspected something like that. No Daedric gift comes without a price. Given the Worm Cult's efforts to bring Manamarco's remains here to Solstice, I think we know whom they intend to bring back. What else did you learn? That explains much. Why the Worm Cult came to Solstice, where the Reapers send stolen souls, how they raise the Writhing Wall, sever that connection, and we can defeat Wormblood. The blessed bell we found at Meridia's temple could do it. By sending him to the Colored Rooms, Wormblood would be vulnerable in Meridia's realm. Princess Al suggested using the Gift of Death as bait. Now I know where we need Wormblood to be. The old temple courtyard. But how do we reach him? Perfect. I can reverse the connection to summon his projection. Place the crystal over there. We need a plausible bargain. Offer Wormblood the Gift of Death for Vana Scalarian. Insist on meeting in the temple courtyard for the exchange.
I hoped the gift might serve as bait. I just wasn't sure what kind of trap we needed. Go on, comrade.
Place your crystal there, and let's see if we can reach Wormblood.
You again? This is an unwelcome surprise.
Dug your way out? Pity. This one hoped you were still squashed under a building.
Charming. What can I do for the so-called Stirk Fellowship? I left that projection crystal in a Coralania crypt. A mistake, perhaps. No doubt Arveril told you about our conversations. And the Gift of Death. So why have you summoned me? I see little point in bargaining. You know my power. It is only a matter of time before I take the Gift of Death. But I'll play along. What do you expect me to offer in trade? Interesting. I am not so impressed by the Archmage as you appear to be. But very well. Bring the Gift of Death to the Writhing Wall. My servants will bring you across. I will be waiting for you with Galarian. You have some deception in mind. Whatever it is, it will not avail you. Bring the gift to the old temple then. If you deal falsely with me, my forces will slaughter everyone within Sunport's walls. Do you understand? It is arranged. Do not keep me waiting.
We won't. Well done, friend. That was rather exhausting. Anyway, nicely done. I wasn't sure Wormblood would agree to meet on our terms, but you convinced him. You should head to Broken Light Courtyard. I'll finalize plans with Princess A and meet you there. We'll gather all the forces we can, but we must make haste. We have to set our trap and conceal it before Wormblood arrives. He will certainly be on his guard, which means you must be ready for a fight.
High elves don't appreciate haste.
Aid me, Lady Meridia. Help me find what I seek.
Meridia.
Ah, Lady, protect me! Oh, you didn't attack. Sorry. The jungle is so dangerous. When I agreed to help my high priest enter the nearby temple, it didn't seem so risky. Now here I am, all alone, surrounded by creatures, and not a Lucent in sight.
Who's inside? What temple do you want to enter?
Broken Light Temple, a place of Meridia worship. It mysteriously collapsed centuries ago. No one's entered since. High Priest Ermine plans to get inside, find a font of power, and restore its former glory. But legends say the place is dangerous. A monstrous sentinel patrols the grounds, slaying any who enter, and it has ghosts of old priests, and other stuff I can't handle. Someone brave should go help Ermine restore the temple. Someone like you! I promise you'll provide a reward. Find Ermine outside the temple along the northern coast. She has a device that will get you inside, but it needs a lucent for power. After that, she'll explain what you need to begin the restoration. I'm off to Sunport. It's too scary out here. It's really old. High Priest Ermine once said House Coralania built it the year they turned to the Three Queens. So, what, 1,000 years? The histories say Meridia herself oversaw its construction. What a blessed thing indeed. Oh, sadly, I don't know much about that. It happened hundreds of years ago, supposedly. The temple is all rubble now, instead of a shining beacon to the Bright Lady. Ermine knows more, but she keeps the details to herself. For security, she says. The Sentinel supposedly guards the grounds from intruders. The old histories mention it, but details are sparse. The ghosts... maybe I made them up. But you can hear voices from the temple sometimes. At night. What else could it be? The Condescent Order. We are devoted solely to Meridia, instead of all of the Three Queens. Only she can show us through these dark days.
Interesting.
We are quite small. High Priest Ermine believes our numbers will swell once we restore the temple.
Three Queens.
You're not familiar with the Three Queens? Oh, right. You're one of those people from the mainland. The High Elves of Solstice, indeed many of the island's inhabitants, revere Meridia, Nocturnal, and Azura. We, however, focus on the Lady of Light.
I did not know that about the Elder Scrolls lore. Meridia, Nocturnal, and Azura, which are the three Daedric goddesses who are not righteous or evil. Interesting. Can you tell me anything else about High Priest Ermine?
She's very impressive. I admire her a great deal. You'll understand once you meet her. The High Priest took over our order and saved it from dissolution. I'll admit that she has high expectations of others, but it's all for the best.
Lucent.
A small crystal that contains oblivion energy. Daedra worshippers, such as those of my order, keep them around our temples, for use in rituals and stuff. Ermine needs a lucent to power a tool she carries. That's why I'm out here all alone, searching.
Very cool, very interesting. Look at people questing out there. Nice to see it. Is there a minute?
Nothing here. I need to get inside. Traveler, please join my sacred mission. Just as my strength wavers, the Light Queen sends you to me. A clear sign that I must persist. I lead an order of devotees to Meridia. Have you seen the ruins of Broken Light Temple on the hill? Our mission is its glorious restoration.
Doria said you need help with the temple's restoration.
Doria's sense of character never fails. You appear quite capable of guiding me through the dangers ahead. Our goal is to find a font of Meridia's power that's locked away inside. That's how I'll restore the temple's former glory. I believe this power can cleanse any dark threats in the temple and imbue it with Meridia's blessing once more. Then we rebuild. Are you ready to begin this sacred task? We must create a way across the bridge to the entrance. That's why I brought a translocation rod. It can repair the gap, but it needs power from a lucent shard. Look in rubble piles around here. I believe Meridia shall provide. All that's known of the temple's history comes from vague stories on faded parchment. They say Meridia herself instructed Coralania believers to build the temple here. It collapsed mysteriously centuries ago. I'd love to learn why myself. The stories we have describe the font in quite poetic terms. Images of water bubbling from a spring are common, as are descriptions of people bathing in its cleansing light. They claimed it can flow for eternity, which I hope is true.
Very interesting. People bathing in cleansing light.
Sadly, its true name is lost to time. Broken Light Temple is what the people of Solstice called it after the collapse. The name describes the loss of Meridia's blessing quite well. Perhaps we can learn its true name once we go inside. We are a clan of High Elves who call Solstice home. They fled Hammerfell centuries ago and settled on this island, though there's more to the story. We revere 3 Daedric princes, but I am devoted exclusively to Meridia's cleansing light. Glad to hear our mission piqued your interest. Ask away. The Candescent Order. We're quite small, but strict devotees of Meridia. Most from my house worship all of the 3 queens, but not us. Only the Lady of Light deserves our worship. The most revered Daedric princes, Azura, Nocturnal, and Meridia. We Coralania elves gave up our necromantic ways long ago. My ancestors decided to venerate these princes instead. I, of course, worship Meridia over the others. Only because I also founded our group. Worship of Azura and Nocturnal felt so hollow to me, but when I communed with Meridia, her light enveloped me. Speaking about Meridia's supremacy just made sense.
Interesting.
An enchanted device that easily moves large objects. Point it and send an object to an empty planar space. The bearer then releases the object where they please. Originally, it was used to imprison enemies, but it has more practical applications. A small crystal fragment that can store magical energy. They grow in the depths of oblivion, which makes them rare. But Daedric temples often have them scattered around. If we can find one in this rubble, it will power the rod.
I absolutely love. Oh, there's a other statue of Meridia back there. I am absolutely loving the zone, absolutely loving the theme. I am so surprised because I was not expecting anything. Supposedly this is an expansion which was a little bit lazy because they have canceling projects there in Cinemax and whatnot. This is really cool. This is really fleshing out the whole story of Meridia and the concept of light, which I find amazing. So this is what the Elder Scrolls Online does at its best. Kind of fleshing out all of these details of the lore, but they do it in an in-depth way where they cannot really add like a lot of new lore, but they just fleshing out everything. So I really like this little order of high elves who only worship Meridia. I didn't know about that, and that is actually really cool because when they start going into the whole thing about Meridia, her being this lady of light and this sort of paradise, or maybe her dominion, her realm of oblivion, where people bathe in her cleansing light. I find it really, really interesting, especially since, as I said, I try to correlate the lore in these video games to the larger lore in real life and some of the real research that has been done in other states of consciousness and transcendental experiences and so on and so forth. And as I've said, I really believe that these lores are basically a way for the subconscious mind to expand. And the theme of light, a lot of people, when they go into this transcendental experience, they bring up the theme of light. They say that they see a big light, or they talk to a light, or they felt embraced by the light, or quote unquote being some of light. So when in lores and stories we have these gods and goddesses which are based on real mythologies, and these are tied to this concept of light, I find it's extremely interesting. I wonder if they keep giving me lore about Meridia, this is gonna be one of my favorite expansions in the Elder Scrolls Online. Let's see. All of Lucent. Where is she?
No luck for me. How's your search? Ah, did you find one? A lucent shard from Broken Light Temple will power the translocation rod while in this area. It should look like a glowing crystal. A bit of tinkering. Here we are. It already feels much more powerful. I think we can clear a path now. Since Meridia chose you to help, you should wield the rod. I'll explain how it works. Come with me. Come, up the stairs. Use the rod to capture this rubble here. Just point and it will understand your intent. Success! Now point the rod here to release the stones. Bless the light! You got it! Now we can cross. Let's get inside. I'm in here, traveler. You must see this. Incredible. The Great Hall of Broken Light Temple. The glyph on these massive doors. I recognize it. Our goal is through here. I call on Her Lady's brilliance to shine upon... But I'm devoted to Meridia. That should have worked. Look for anything that explains these doors.
Yo, what the hell? ESO has no business bringing all these cool things forward. This is so cool. Like literally some random temple abandoned in this strange island that is a little bit far away from the lore, but it's just so cool. Very interesting.
Meridian priests contemplate those for hours. Shame about its condition.
Yes.
Followers of Meridia cleanse her enemies by force sometimes.
Cleanse their enemies by force. Interesting. I liked. The Radiant One to cleanse the failings of our order by making us all purified, so shall be her will. The Radiant One. Only the most faithful of Meridia may go through. Only a true believer in Meridia may perform the ritual of light. Interesting.
Does that parchment offer answers? Show me, please.
Only a true follower of Meridia might do this.
The cynosure. That's how the old parchments describe the font of power. It's a focus of Meridia's attention. If jealousy led to the collapse, then purification of the Order is just. The purified are walking embodiments of Meridia's will.
It says on the ritual stone of the cynosure doors.
Yes, a ritual of light in the two wings of the temple. The Dawn Wing to the east, and Purity Wing to the west. It doesn't describe what the ritual involves. I have faith in my devotion to Meridia. We'll figure it out. I could see from the outside that the Western Purity Wing collapsed long ago. It looked overgrown with plants. The Eastern Dawn Wing appeared intact, though. Maybe we'll see more of the old architecture there. So, what do you think? Purity or Dawn?
I'm interested in all this purity thing.
Collapsed and overgrown it is. I really hope none of the more savage wildlife made a home inside. I'd like this to go smoothly. Either way, I'll meet you inside the Western Wing.
I want to see both though. So cool. Oh, so it's purity. Okay, so it's purity, the one on the left, and it's dawn, the one on the right. This is like the two faces, the two aspects of Meridia, it seems. This is why she's Daedric and she's not part of the Aedra, because the Aedra are the most positive, the higher tier of gods and goddesses, or essence, from Anu. And all the Daedric gods are probably just the offspring, Padme, of chaos. And while they are not perfect, they're still part of the singularity that was before. Anything, the Kim, the Ascension. Very interesting. The Elder Scrolls lore is just so deep. absolutely love how TESO is going through all of these things. Okay. Here is purity. There is the symbol of purity.
Let's look for that ritual site. The rod can create paths if we need it, just like outside. I'll search for anything that can help our task. Oh, stay clear of Purified. They will likely be hostile.
I like this is a side quest. This is not even. I think this is a side quest. It's not even the main quest. Absolutely fantastic. Really honors this temple. What? They're effectively immortal, but grievous injury to the body will dispel them. Afterward, their souls linger on within the cynosure for eternity. One of our most devout will hear Meridia speak a command to enter the cynosure. Together with a helper of their choosing, they will perform the rituals to unlock that central door. Then the transformation can begin. We despair at losing a friend or colleague, but those who understand the miracle appreciate the gift we receive. Wow. That's pretty metal. What is the Sentinels? Purified warriors. Just gather them up. I don't think there's a lot. No, come back! Okay, whatever. Oh, that is really cool. I also love to see the writings on the wall and all of the symbolism behind it. The griffin of the high elves. Absolutely fantastic.
Yes, I can tell you many things. Come, talk. I was alone for so long, many years. Now you and I speak together. A good thing. I am Temerian. Or was. Perhaps will be again. You explore my home, this great temple. Why did you come here? Ah, yes, Lady Meridia's gift. Such power it holds. It creates the Sentinels, did you know? I was to receive its blessing. A deceiver ripped that from me. If you access the Sino-Shore, yes, you could cleanse the temple, remake it. Very true. Carisia. She proclaimed lies of love for me and Meridia, all to gain the Sino-Shore's power. To become the blessed Sentinel. When I realized, I fought back, but I failed. The temple fell and my lady punished me with this wretched half-blessing. Yes! Oh, look at me babble. The Sino-Shore's power can clear the temple of danger. Then you can rebuild. A ritual unlocks the doors. Your high priest can do it. You'll find the site along this path. Keep going. Don't give up. I will meet you there. Head north, mostly intact. Easiest route to the ritual site.
For a high priest of Meridia, Tomarion doesn't seem particularly faithful. If the Lady of Light denied making him a sentinel, his resentment may linger. Let's not be quick to trust him, friend. His eyes glow with Meridia's flawless light. That's the sign that Meridia's will has taken over a mortal follower. Usually their old selves cease to exist. Tomarion's story may explain why he's different. For a believer, a half-finished state like that would be agony, burning inside with Meridia's light, but not fully taken. It must feel like complete rejection. I pity Tomarion's circumstances, but Meridia's punishments are righteous. Why would someone spurned by Meridia want access to a font of her power? He may want to corrupt it somehow. Or maybe he just wants to get back in her good graces. We can use him to unlock the door, but let's remain wary. The old High Priest still lives, and he wants to help us? Very strange. Continue on. I want to explore more of this amazing temple.
I want to explore the temple too. And we're just gonna rush and kill all these dudes.
Come closer, behind the tunnel gate.
We'll need more rubble for this next one.
Make the path, then go on. The ritual site is close.
No. More rubble? What are you talking about? There? Find this rubble. I've already been here. Oh, there is. That's that the only one?
Go on ahead. I'll join you in a moment. This room is so beautiful.
It is really cool. The whole Temple of Meridia from the ancient elves in the Second Era, and like this is something I was not expecting. I'm just so happy that they are using this MMO to expand on the lore in a sense. Like I've never taken the lore of the Elder Scrolls Online as actual lore from the Elder Scrolls, because it has always disappointed me. But I think that every single time that I try to come back to it and I try to get into the lore, it gets better. Even for this chapter that seems to be ESO getting on maintenance mode. But at the same time, since the other MMO got cancelled, I think this is gonna be now their main MMO. So I hope it comes out of maintenance and they keep working on all of this lore. That would be something amazing. Like, we cannot get a new MMO. We have MMO at home. We have ESO at home. That's another player right there. That's the thing. That's the one thing I don't like about ESO. Sometimes they trigger events, and you kind of it's kind of unimmersive because they do things. They're just running around and stuff. I'll wait for him to go. I don't want him to ruin anything. No, but it's... I think they got rid of all those things. This is an amazing area. It reminds me of...
See me? Behind the bars. I helped you. You can trust me. Let's talk.
How's that guy? Who's supposed to be the half purified... So cool, this concept of purity of Meridia.
Your High Priest can do her ritual here. Unlock the Sino-Shore doors. Simple. I helped, so listen. I want to join you, be part of restoring the temple. I can protect you and serve Meridia again if you let me. You want to open the Sino-Shore? Let me inside. It can make me whole. Meridia will see my devotion. I will become a sentinel like I deserve. We can restore the temple, build an army of light.
Army of Light, you say? That sounds kind of cool. He does seem kind of sketchy, though.
You found the ritual site. We can begin.
Consider my offer. We can rebuild the temple. Just let me into the Sino-Shore.
Let's discuss what to do next. Tomarion may have helped us find the ritual site, but that doesn't mean we should trust him. Put that aside for the moment. I recognize this ritual space. It reenacts the movement of the sun. It's a simple rite. I'll guide you.
Reenacts the movement of the sun. Interesting.
Stop by supplicating on the tile I direct
Supplicating,
you to.
okay.
Then I will begin the chant and tell you where to go. When I
All
mention
right,
the
it's getting a
cardinal
little bit-
direction, you'll need to walk to the appropriate tile. That's it.
Okay, this is getting a little bit weird, not gonna lie. Do I need to be a follower of Meridia to do this work? How exciting to worship here in this temple. My faith in Meridia is strong enough. I mean, if I were to worship a Daedric prince or goddess, it would be Meridia.
Not at all. You don't need to be a believer, though I do encourage it. I can be the conduit through which her blessed energies will flow. Just follow the chant and it will work. But if you do wish to devote yourself, we can discuss that later. The tiles represent an allegory for the sun, Meridia's brightest light. We must recreate that
yes,
allegory as you
absolutely.
walk the tiles. Once complete, the lock should release.
This is actually really, really cool. Jokes on her because I am actually a follower of Meridia now. This is a really cool concept. So it resembles the sun somehow, and you got that over there. And you know, this whole lore comes from if you go and research ancient religions, you'll find that every single religion speaks of the light. Whether it's Buddhism with the rainbow body and the Buddhas of light, which are Amitabha Buddha, which are supposed to be the most evolved of the Buddhas, who literally leave their bodies behind and they become light versions of themselves. You go to Gnosticism, you find that there are the prophet of the Christian religion comes down after the resurrection as light. This is even in the canonical, in the regular studies. The whole transfiguration thing where this prophet becomes light. Now we're talking about mythology. Some people look at this as religion. So for some people it's very real. For some people it's just tales. What is it really? Now, if you keep digging into it, you find a religion, which is the religion of light, Manichaeanism. And all of these religions come from altered states of consciousness of these quote-unquote prophets who out of nowhere find these. They find themselves in these periods of transcendental experiences where they meet a quote-unquote angel, and this angel explains all of these things to them. Now, a lot of people with modern science and so on and so forth think that this worship of light comes from mainly just the idea of the sun, the worship of the sun, and how when the earlier humans, even going all the way back to the Cro-Magnon and Neanderthal and very basic cults in antiquity, they think it's just the worship of the sun, and how the ancient humans would look at the sun and the moon and would think they were some sorts of gods, and so on and so forth. But now, as I've said, I've been doing this research for a long time, and when you go deeper into all of these studies of transcendental experiences, of altered states of consciousness, of near-death experiences, you find that when people die and they come back to life, they come with the same story. And this is basically that they went to a different realm of existence. If you want to call it the void, if you want to call it the astral realm, if you want to call it oblivion, if you want to call it Ethereus, because these lores are basically a representation of a higher knowledge we all have embedded into us. And they speak of beings of light. They speak of a light that speaks to them, a light that is intelligent. So when I do this research in real life, I write and I do all of these things. But also, what I find in the video games, in the lores, is that there's always this force, this hidden force. If you think about Star Wars, the Force, indeed. If you think about whether it's Final Fantasy with Hydaelyn, whether it's World of Warcraft with the light, whether it's the Elder Scrolls with this concept of light, it comes out like it's trying to tell us something, whether through epic fantasies, through narratives, through folklore, through religion, through other states of consciousness, through mushroom trips, whatever you may want to see it, it comes back to it. So no, it's not as simple as modern scientists think. It's not a simple observation of the sun and the elements which made people hallucinate and make believe of these gods and goddesses. I think it goes way deeper than that. Now, if anybody's actually watching, I go into all of this rant because at some point I want to make videos out of all of this. I might not make them right now because I don't have time. Well, this is why I kind of go into the whole tangent and rants and so on, connecting the lores in video games with the actual research on the afterlife and other states of consciousness, so on and so forth. I'm a huge nerd. It is what it is.
Now, listen to my cues. My lady's brilliance starts in the east, and we carry it north.
Wow. Starts in the east and we carry it north. So starts in the east, goes here. What a fantastic way to finish my whole rant about the light. So I'm literally carrying the radiance of the light. So if it starts in the east, I would go here and then I would go there. I think it's some sort of a mini game, it seems. I'm not sure if I'm doing it correctly.
We then carry it south.
Oh yeah, I'm actually doing it. And you become the light. Okay, let's not mess it up. Carry it south. Absolutely fantastic. Really cool.
And finally, as the sun does, so do we carry the light west.
Light west. This is so bloody cool. As I said, people think it's just some sort of weird representation. It is in the ancient scripture. The prophet literally went to meditate in the mountains and it became flashing with light. His face became the light. It goes beyond.
Meridia, we did it. And look, it opened a portal.
Low-key, this is the coolest ESO expansions that I played. That's so weird. Okay. Return to Great Hall. Where am I going now? It's gonna just go to the main light, I guess. Bloody fantastic. Go to the light. Why do I keep carrying the light?
Now we can explore the Dawnwing to the east.
Oh, nice. We're gonna explore the other one. Hell yeah.
The ritual worked. Half of the ward is down.
you. That was a fantastic way to end up my rant about the light.
Compared to the west side, the Dawn Wing looked completely intact from the outside. That doesn't mean it's in perfect shape, though. I do hope we get to see some of the old architecture. I'll head inside the eastern wing when you're ready.
It's like we let him, and the signature creates sentinels, and he wants to become one.
I figured that might be his goal. After what he told us earlier, I suspected he'd try to access the Cynosure. We should be careful if we manage to open the doors. We go to the Eastern Dawn Wing and hope for the best. I'm worried that the Sentinel mentioned in the old records hasn't appeared yet. Maybe she perished long ago. Hesitating won't help.
Dawn Wing.
I know so little about this wing. Let's search for information before we proceed. A priest's lockbox of personal belongings. I can learn about worship practices from long ago. I don't sense any magic on that crystal. Purely decorative. That amulet calls to me. What is it? Ah!
Mortals who walk these hallowed halls, please hear me out.
She's becoming a
Connection. My mind has linked to the body of this priest. It feels miraculous. I am Carisia, former priest of Meridia, now the blessed sentinel of this temple. You and this mortal I speak through. Explain yourselves. Why are you here?
oh no, she's been invaded by priestess. Serving wants to ask the attention, restore the temple. What have you done to her?
High priest. Her strong faith must fuel the connection through my old amulet. Through her, I can speak in a way I cannot in my own body. And you want the Cynosure. My fortune continues. That power is the only way to free me.
I told those who stole his chance to become Sentinel.
That man sees the Sentinel as a gift. I know now that it binds mortals in eternal service to Meridia. This gift only creates suffering. It needs to be destroyed. We can help each other. Go east along the path. I will return soon.
What?
Our interests align, mortal. I will return in the northern hall.
I heard what she said. Go ahead, while I take a moment to recover.
This is super cool.
Such a feeling of intrusion. I could hear the words, feel my mouth move, but was powerless to resist. I feel unwell. Just go ahead. I noticed crumbled walkways. Use the rod again to make a path to the ritual site. I'll be along shortly.
Cassandra says she wants to destroy the Cynosure.
I heard. Her words sounded desperate. If the Cynosure binds people into service to Meridia, how could that be bad? I would feel honored. I want to hear more of her tale, but I'd prefer a different method for receiving it.
It's really cool. They're playing with a lot of very interesting themes here. So whether Meridia is a positive goddess or not, maybe this extreme devotion to Meridia is not actually good. Maybe Meridia disguises herself as a being of light, as a being of righteousness, but it's not actually. And that I can take that beyond the lore as well, because when you listen to these stories in the real research of people who have these transcendental experiences and they see these quote unquote angels or aliens or whatever you may, even though they seem to be these angels, sometimes they are not. And a lot of people are saying that when they are quote unquote contacted by these beings, they might not be as righteous or as quote unquote angelic as most people think. And this is one of the reasons why I think Meridia is one of the coolest Daedric gods and goddesses. This is really cool as well. I love the variety of mobs that are in the Elder Scrolls Online. There's a bunch of like dragons and like things you can fight. Okay, I think when I do this animation, I am stuck with like carrying the lights. I'm just gonna log in and log out real quick. It breaks my immersion. I haven't seen this one. That is really cool. Nice. There'll be more stuff. That's it. There it is. It's fixed. Beautiful. Another interesting thing is that I'm gonna be making shorts of all of this. If I see how she becomes sort of possessed by these priestess. Now, when you go into the research of altered states of consciousness, there is another altered state of consciousness that I don't really go in depth because it's the hardest one to prove, which is how people say that they channel beings. And these beings might not be the most positive.
Look at this chamber. I can imagine what past acolytes felt here.
Channelings are one of the hardest to prove, and one of the ones that I had least. I thought well, maybe most of them are really not genuine channelings, not really people connecting with angels or aliens or what you may. But when you go deeper into the research, you find out what they are saying. It's basically the same to what some of the others, what the other altered states of consciousness are saying. And I've gone through documents that go back 20, 30, 60 years, and they are saying the same thing. So that's definitely one of the altered states of consciousness that I still have to keep researching in a deeper way. Just roll dodge.
job clearing the way. I think we're close. The wonders of this wing are amazing. Keep searching for the ritual site. I'll catch up.
It is pretty cool.
Wait, friend. I feel Carisia taking control again.
Halt! We must speak before you proceed. You approach the ritual site. Here, you will unlock one of the Sinoshore's doors. I must warn you, I am inside, as the Blessed Sentinel. I serve Meridia's will. When you enter, I will attack. I cannot control my actions. You misunderstand. I pray for my defeat. You must perform the unlocking ritual. But if the Sinoshore remains, the Sentinel's energy lingers and eventually reforms, so you must destroy it. You cannot allow other monstrous beings to gain its power. That worm blames me for a choice that belonged to Meridia alone. She saw his arrogant, self-serving plans. He was a glutton for power and wished to use the Sinoshore to control others. It's imperative that you destroy it, so he does not succeed. I understand her desire. Perhaps Meridia will cleanse the temple so others can rebuild. But Eramine must understand the cost. Enter the ritual site. See how the Sinoshore rips away mortal will and replaces it with mindless servitude. Prepare yourself for battle!
That's it! Enough. Just make it stop. She's in there? Defending the ritual site, I guess. We should get ready. I sympathize with her. She made me very familiar with how it feels to lose control of your own body. Can't believe she'd inflict it on someone else. A lot to think about. When my mission to Broken Light Temple began, I didn't expect to battle against my lady's blessed servants. I quietly believed Meridia would guide me safely to the Sinoshore. Suppose I was wrong about many things. I always thought that giving over one's will to Meridia would feel joyous. I imagined the Purified felt perfect at all times. Now, with Carisia's possessions, I question that. I still believe in our task, though. Let's get in there.
Very interesting. This is one of the deepest, the most in-depth look into a Daedric god or goddess that I've experienced in the Elder Scrolls, except the main god like Ernest, Mora, and so on and so forth. But all of these other gods and goddesses, and this is the side quest. Like, I am just amazed. This is not even part of the main quest. This is a side quest, just about Meridia. Very interesting. Is that her? Is that her spirit?
By the light! Sentinel Carisia, I'll shield you from her wrath.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Fight! If you want to perform the ritual. I can feel her will grip my mind. She moves my limbs to attack. This shell will fall. You must hurry before I reform. My shield, quickly! She's gone. Only dispelled.
Nice.
I can still feel Carisia in the temple. Time for the ritual. Let's quickly discuss it. I'm glad we prevailed over Sentinel Carisia. She possessed immense power and had such little control over it. Seeing her makes me question the purpose of the Cynosure. I have a lot to think about. In the meantime, let's complete this ritual. For the most part, you stand on the center tile and follow my instructions. Let me funnel the energy to you. This ritual's metaphor is different, however. This looks like an allegory for a constellation of stars. I've read works about Meridia's connection to stars, but I consider it heresy. I can remember enough to recreate the constellation, though. Don't worry, I'll tell you which way to go.
Interesting. I didn't know this connection of Meridia with the constellation, but it makes sense. The cosmos, the astro, not only the light. This gives me so much to go. I'm tangent here, but I'm gonna do it right now. Just gonna explore a little bit. Same. It's just, it looks like the Vanguard, the vampire expansion in Skyrim. The architecture reminds me of that. This ancient elven architecture, very old, very. Maybe this is because the Castle Polkihar is a very old piece of architecture. Maybe this is why it's sort of resembling that. So there's this hidden, as she said, a heretic aspect of Meridia, which is tied to the constellations, to the cosmos, to the quote-unquote astro, which might be a little bit different than purely the light. And if I take it a little bit beyond the lore here, as I said, in the real transcendental states, in the real transcendental experiences, when some of these beings come in contact with people who die and have a near-death experience, or they go with mushrooms and psilocybin and DMT and all these psychedelic experiences, and they meet these quote-unquote beings of light, as they said, sometimes the whole theme of it is that they are not so positive beings being disguised as negative beings. And if you go deeper into the research, you realize that, or what people say is that these are beings who exist in the fourth dimension, who exist in the third dimension. If we go with Elder Scrolls lore, you would think that Tamriel and Mundus and anything in the physical reality is the third dimension. But these beings in Oblivion and in the astral realms are in the fourth dimension, and there are higher dimensions, higher quote-unquote heavens, which would be Ethereus in the lore of the Elder Scrolls. So beings in the fourth dimension, which would be the astral realm, the cosmic, the astral, this hidden connection in this lore maybe, come and contact beings in the third dimension, and they disguise themselves as higher beings, which come from the higher dimensions, which we would think as Ethereus, or the higher heavens. It's very interesting. I can go further into the rabbit hole, but I'm just gonna leave it there right now.
Now follow along. The constellation of Our Lady rises in the west.
Eastern Star. Then to the north, the link is made to the south. One successfully completed ritual.
You opened the door, good servant. Now I become what I deserve.
Tomarian, stop! We need to discuss this! Light blind him. He just walked right in. We need to talk, friend. Burn his eyes. I knew we couldn't trust that scoundrel. We still need to figure out what to do about the Cynosure. Tomarian as a blessed sentinel worries me more than Carisia. He would become the sentinel we fought earlier, but stronger, more power-hungry, filled with spite. He truly believes Meridia chose him, and he was cheated out of his destiny. In service to my lady, I will try to stop him. I must destroy the Cynosure. That part I don't know. We have no idea what's actually behind those doors. You and I have solved everything together. We'll figure this part out too. Let's get in there. What is he doing in there? Hurry, let's get inside. Tomarian, no! We need to get over there and stop him!
Absolutely fantastic environments. I'm loving the Elder Scrolls Online right now. I'm so glad they did this. Hey, how do we stop them? No way to cross the bridge. And get some more stone to kind of build the bridge. So cool. Should have like a grapple hook. Like I miss that grapple hook. If this was Dune, I would just climb right here with my grapple hook. Oh, it's right there. Jesus Christ, it was next to me. Oh no, is this Meridia's beacon on my little tool here? I think it's Meridia's beacon. Meridia's beacon on the tool.
Tomarian, stop this! You don't understand!
I understand everything. I will gain what I am owed. Meridia, give me your strength!
He channeled all of the power into himself.
It's too late! Meridia blesses me as her new sentinel!
You must destroy him. I'll protect you like last time.
It's this should be hard. This should be like a Dark Souls type experience. That would make it absolutely like cool and epic. But it's still TESO, it's gonna be pretty easy. I'm taking a bit of damage though. And the light says... I should have died there, like. They make it just a little bit harder. It's pretty cool, to be honest. Just to look at the animations and everything. It's kind of worth it. Oh, I'm actually dying. I'm actually dying. Oh my god! If I died there, I would have been so angry.
Use the rod to remove the orbs from the pillars. Look, the sentinels appeared in front of the statue.
Oh, both of them. Interesting. That's actually pretty cool.
This sacrifice protects many others. It's time to go. After centuries, I am finally free. You did it. Let's leave here. We'll talk in the Great Hall. Friend, over here. I can't believe it. I found the Cynosure at the heart of Broken Light Temple, and I destroyed it. Wait until I tell the rest of my order. No regrets, though. The stories lied. That font of power protected the temple by binding priests into servitude. I saw how it twisted people and destroyed their love. I don't want to perpetuate that. I don't understand why Meridia wanted that either.
Interesting. They're not gonna explain the true nature of Meridia.
You go on your way with a good story and some coin.
Good story and
I
some
gather
coin.
The rest of my faithful
my God.
and see what I can do to put Meridia's light to good use. Oh, and I take my rod back. Despite the outcome, I'm glad to have learned all we did, friend.
Wow.
I need to gather my acolytes in Sunport. I think we can rally the rest of the faithful and start something new. A priory or a chapel or something. Small and honoring to her brilliance. Nothing quite as grand as this old temple.
Should we build a temple?
I still feel dedicated to build something. Probably not here, but I'll honor Meridia in some way. My order will gather in Sunport and decide what comes next. I have high hopes. It may not be as grand as a temple, but it will be pure. And you as well, friend. Feel free to find me in Sunport after this. It will do my spirit well to see you still thriving.
And that's it. I am mind blown about these little. This was a side quest, and it's one of the best quests that I ever done in the Elder Scrolls Online. That's just amazing. I can't believe it. I think it's still still bugged, so I'm gonna log out and log in real quick. Because it's just it annoys me. My OCD goes insane when those little bugs in the animations happen. And ESO has had so many of these bugs where the animation just gets stuck and you have to log out and log in to fix it. So she says, it was just now you get a good story and some coin to go back. This is literally one of the best quests that I've ever done in the Elder Scrolls Online. Now the whole thing about Meridia and this purity and this aspect of the dawn, and like the thing about ESO's quests and side quests is that sometimes they go into very deep human conflicts. And as I said, all of these lores, and especially in the Elder Scrolls, it all has to do with that. Now, the theme here is this order, which is extremely devoted to Meridia. And you see her dissolution as she starts to understand that maybe Meridia is an evil goddess, a goddess which demands worship, and it's about losing your religion, like that old song goes. The internal conflict of losing your religion, of knowing that Santa Claus is not real, or maybe it's not a good thing, or and maybe, for example, Christianity might be a negative thing. It's a really human thing. But now going into the whole thing about taking it beyond the lore. Now I don't know if it's part of kill this cure. Might be a little bit overpowered here. Absolutely fantastic. So I'm just gonna take a little bit beyond the lore here, see if I can make a video out of this whole thing. Meridia, why is it important that she is not a righteous goddess and she's not an evil goddess? We don't know what she is. If you take it beyond the lore, you find out, as I said, there's this whole thing in transcendental experiences. If you go into the research on Manichaeanism, which is the actual religion of light, there was actually a dude who said that he met an angel, and this angel told him that we all have particles of light within us, and these particles of light, which are divine in essence, they become trapped in the material world. They become trapped in the 3D world. And now if you go deeper into quantum physics, you realize that at the core, what we are as human beings is basically bits of information, of quantum information, which at the end, it's particles of light, it's photons, and you go into the double slit experiment, so on and so forth. If you Google the whole quantum thing, so everything, all of the research that I've done now, because I know that if some people catch my videos and listen to me ranting and going into all of these tangents, they say, oh, this guy is just crazy and it's just a bunch of bullshit that he's coming forward with. Every single thing that I say, I back it up with science. I've done a lot of research into the science behind all of these things, including the altered states of consciousness and so on and so forth. And I came to map out a larger story, as I said. There is the third dimension, the fourth dimension, and higher. So we live the third dimension in the world of material, in the world of the physical. Now the fourth dimension is a little bit less material. It's where we go when we go to sleep. It's the world of dreams. The ancient Tibetan Buddhists called it the bardos. So there were different bardos. There was the bardo of death, there was the bardo of dreams, and there were some others, but mainly those are the ones. So now the whole thing in the lore of the Elder Scrolls is that you have these Daedric gods, which are not very imperfect, which are in a way very human, very flawed. And then you have the Aedra, which were the higher gods. You don't see them because they're not even in close contact to you. They're in such a higher realm. And in a sense, they gave themselves to create Nier, to create Mundus. And this is the whole idea that in the world of Tamriel, in the reality that we inhabit in the Elder Scrolls, we carry with ourselves the Aedra, the gods, and this is very clear in Oblivion. And like when you finish the main storyline in Oblivion, this whole idea of Martin becoming Akatosh is part of that, part of this inner divinity, the kingdom inside you. And We will all be like the prophet. We will all be these. We will all realize this divinity within us. So now, the whole thing about Meridia and these Daedric gods and goddesses, which we don't know if they are positive or negative. As I said, in transcendental experiences, when people meet these beings of light, in a lot of the experiences, people are not very sure if these are positive or negative beings. The whole story leads to the idea that we might be in what they call a quote-unquote prison planet, or some sort of a school where we come into the material world to learn lessons and to understand divinity in a sense. But another theory suggests that we're not really learning anything. We're just trapped here. We're just trying to find this deeper sense of divinity. And I think the Elder Scrolls lore does a great job into bringing this forward, as this character here loses her religion. Full devotion in Meridia, but actually Meridia was controlling her. So there's this whole deeper philosophy of whether who is righteous, who isn't, what are we doing here, what are we doing in Mundus, can we trust the Daedra, can we trust the god, can we trust them or not, what goes beyond. It is very, very interesting. Now, just to close it, because I don't really know how to, I just go on tangents and rants. I don't do that. I do this to chill, because the real research that I do is a different thing. The one thing that I will say, if anybody catches this video, go into a book called The Sophia of Jesus Christ. And this is a Gnostic book where it talks about the prophet of Christianity. I don't care if you think of it as religion, as a real thing. If you're an atheist and you think it's not real, that's completely fine. It's just mythology. Let's just think of it as mythology. Now, in that book, it speaks of this savior. So this prophet of Christianity, as I said, even in the canonical Gospels, through the Transfiguration, it became pure light. This is in the canonical Gospels. Now, the thing about the Gnostic Gospels is that they were banned because they were too extreme, and people thought this is a bunch of nonsense, this is a bunch of BS, this cannot be real, this is even heretic, so they banned them. But in that book, The Sophia of Jesus Christ, this transfiguration goes even further, and it tells the story that when this prophet of Christianity was resurrected, he wasn't resurrected in the flesh. He was resurrected as a being of light, which presented himself to the disciples in Mount Zion, or whatever the mount was. And he told them a very different story about the ultimate reality. Now, the first time that I learned about Pisti Sophia is another one, but the Sophia of Jesus Christ, the first time that I read it, I thought it was a bunch of nonsense, because it talks about reincarnation and how we were in a perfect realm of light in the heavens, and we came down and became entrapped into the material world, which is the same thing that angel told to Mani, the prophet of Manichaeanism. Now Google it. There was a big chance that instead of most of the population of the world becoming Christian, we would have been Manichaean, but there were efforts to delete that whole religion from the face of the earth. But anyway, this story at first, I thought it was a bunch of nonsense and a bunch of BS. But when I kept on doing my research, and you just tag all of the stories, they are all saying the same thing. And
someone arrives.
It is this larger story that...
I request assistance.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going on a tangent here. So the deeper story is that there is a perfect realm of light. And now go on Google in Nordic mythology. Don't Google Valhalla. You think of Skyrim and Sovngarde, and you think that Sovngarde and Valhalla is the heaven of the Vikings. Go on Google Gimli and the High Elves, the real story of the High Elves in Nordic mythology. You find out that it's the same thing as in Christianity and in the Gnostic themes. And it has to do with light, and it has to do with a perfect realm in the heavens. So basically, when you put all of this together, the whole idea is that we used to exist in the perfect realm of light, as beings of light, as particles of light, which I don't know if it was a prison planet, I don't know if it was the fallen angels, I don't know if whatever it was, we came down into the world of matter and we became quote unquote entrapped into it. And when you go into all of the religions, and as I've been going through the lores in video games and even some movies and some of the largest lores out there, every single story is coming back to this. So this is why I get so excited when I see all of these themes going back and forward. I hope that one day I get a chance to really go deeper into the lore and make a cohesive argument out of all of this. Because right now I just start streaming and just random and might make a short here and there. But it's just, I find it to be such a beautiful thing. So when I find games like The Elder Scrolls Online and The Elder Scrolls in general, which take their lore seriously, it's really a thing to ponder upon and to bring forward, I believe. Anyway, I hope they go deeper into Meridia and her mysteries in this patch. This is definitely my favorite ESO expansion, 100% for sure. But anyway, that's enough for tonight. If anybody's watching this, thank you so much for watching. Maybe I'll see you in the next one.